from the Supreme Court justices about Roe v. Wade and the possibility of overturning it at the federal level and handing it back to the states. That was what they were talking about, or that's what they put into a draft opinion. Not and no one voted on it. You haven't lost your rights yet, ladies. You haven't. It hasn't gone through. There's been no vote. It was just the Supreme Court justices getting together and going, "What do we think about this issue? Okay, let's put it in the minutes here, and we'll table this for now. We'll come back to it later." Well, as soon as they tabled it, somebody pulled, and we think we know who it was. Takes it off the desk and releases it to the media and the press. And sure as shit, and here we are. You go and you look at the Washington Post, you look at any of these the mainstream news outlets, and they lead with this: Roe v. Wade voted against. Like they had war, across the headlines or something. And if all you read was the headlines, if all you read was like the very first, too long didn't read. If all you read was that, you would think that the Supreme Court just voted to overturn Roe v. Wade, and that's simply not true. Even our good friend Ethan Klein went out there and said exactly the same thing, because he just goes off half-cocked all the time, as we know. So
he doesn't know what he'd be talking about right now.
He's just looking for clicks. But that's you want to remember, we talking about TikTok being propaganda. That's also part of that propaganda machine. And so right around May 3rd or so, when all this dropped, we get this what's called agitprop. Agitating propaganda. Look it up. Agitprop, AGITPROP, is actually a thing. It's in the dictionary. That's what we're looking at right here. So what happens is it activates the women, and they get them up into a hot lather. And of course, what happens is you get them out there in the pink pussy hats once again. So suddenly the Great Women's March comes up, and suddenly everybody's out there with placards that saying. In fact, I copied a JPEG of this. It happened here in Miami, as a matter of fact. I copied it off of Kiki Clout's account, because she was like trying to get somewhere. She was trying to work her way through one of these protests that was here in Miami. I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Okay. And one of the placards was like, Roe v. Wade will get overturned. Make sure you turn out on November 8th, 2022. I'm like, there it is. Bam. I called it. That's it. That was it right there. That's the narrative that they want the ladies to. They say, we can't get the women out there for anything else. We don't want to lose our asses in the midterm. So how are we going to do this? Well, let's get the ladies worked up into a hot lather so that they'll go out there and do that, because women are the largest voting bloc in the United States.
One more time for y'all.
More facts. Women are the largest voting bloc in the United States. Get enough of them together, and that will settle an election. And so when you see, I don't mean just like a presidential election. I mean like local elections, your mayor, your city council, wherever it is, makes no difference. It's the women who are there. If you get women to the polls, there are more of them than there are of men.
You know what's scary? They're the most influenced race or gender on the planet, which means if you control the media, you control them.
Right.
You can have them do whatever you want.
And look where we are. You just mentioned a second ago, responsibility and authority. Yeah. They want all the authority, but no responsibility. And that's really what abortion comes down to. Yeah. So I'm going to say it again. Okay. Abortion is the ultimate expression of hypergamy. There's your red pill. There's your red pill moment for you. Okay. And people get really pissed off at me when I talk about this. I've done it on my show several times in knowing it was going to come back up again. But that's what abortion is about. It's not about the pro-lifers who want to say, you're going to go to hell if you have an abortion. They make it a moral, emotional issue, right? It's emotion fighting emotion. So you've got the right side where they're saying, abortion is murder, and then you've got the left side saying, well, a woman's right to choose. We don't want men controlling our bodies. We don't want you don't have a seat at the table because you have a penis and not a uterus. And so they make a big emotional appeal, and you go out into the streets when they're protesting, and you can see just how emotional feminist women get when you start saying, hey, we're gonna overturn Roe.
And the scary part is it's just a draft. It hasn't went anywhere.
It hasn't done anything. We're not going anywhere. Yeah. But so my question, I always say this: is if you're on the conservative side, if you want to win this argument, stick to the facts. Yeah. Because 98% of abortions are done electively. They're not done for incest or EPAR. I can't say that. Yeah. They're not, because they are electively done. It is.
We can say it one time. It
Okay.
basically, go ahead, take it away.
So if you go and you look at like the statistics for and if you can find the statistics, because the statistics are state by state.
Yeah.
Certain states won't allow them to say, an abortion clinic to say, why are you getting this abortion done?
Yeah.
It's just like none of your goddamn business, right? Florida, on the other hand, they keep records like this. And in the states that keep records, if you go and you look at the reasons given for any particular abortion, it is it's 98% of those are elective abortions, meaning I'm not ready for a kid, killed a party, whatever it is. Essentially, what it boils down to is abortion is a fail-safe for women's bad reproductive choices. How do we know that? Because 98% of those abortions are elective for women. So that's another thing I want to point out is when you hear that, and you will hear this, you probably already have, but when women say, well, what about in instances of rape? What about in instances of incest? What about in instances of this? Those account for a minute fraction of 1% of all of the ones that they can track anyways.
There you go.
So those are stats, black and white. I can show you the research right there. If you want to win the argument on abortion, stick to the numbers, you'll win. You will absolutely win. But the minute you go, abortion is murder, a woman's right to choose, as long as you like stay, two sides of the ideological spectrum are like fighting each other with emotional arguments, that's exactly what the political process and the political system wants. That's what they were trying to inspire. You can win this argument by saying, what is the function of abortion? Why do women fight tooth and nail to keep safe, legal abortion? Right. Well, it's a woman's right to choose. It's like a right. Suddenly it's a human right to abort a child. And when a country that didn't have, like Ireland or Argentina or whatever, when they finally get the right to abort,
they're in the streets going crazy.
They have it's another emotional response, right? Let's all party. Let's all have a good time.
Could you imagine
Celebrate.
no birth control, no abortion? Women would have to choose the right partner, because if they didn't, they're screwed.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, they went. What country was it that recently legislated it? Was it somewhere in South America? Was it Argentina or Brazil?
I want to say it was Argentina, because Argentina is a Catholic country, and I'm pretty sure it was pretty recently. It might have been like
they were going crazy on the streets, man. They're fucking
and on the streets in Argentina. And you know what else? On the streets of like when they're showing like other video from other countries, women like in I don't know, in the United States and Ireland and wherever, they're celebrating too.
They're going fucking crazy. They're just going wild, bro.
And why is that? Because that is that abortion as a fail-safe for bad reproductive choices is I'd say the most, but it is certainly a keystone or a cornerstone of gynocentric power for women. So as long as you can keep that there, it doesn't hold women to one guy. They feel like they can go and I put this in Kill the Party, right? It's like they're always looking for the guy who's better than the one that they had before, unless that guy's really good, and then they'll have that guy's baby. But they always have the option to not have a child. And that's really what abortion's about.
Yeah, shout out to all the college white girls on birth control.
Shout out to y'all in Miami.
Again, I'm not arguing for or against abortion. I'm not arguing for or against birth control. What I'm saying is these are the stats. What do you have to say about them?
And it's very interesting because women always fight tooth and nail for their rights and privileges, and it's amazing how they literally band together, right? Even girls that hate each other will sit there and band together. And I've noticed this during our